Is it moral to be vegan? Or is it actually less moral? If you've been on my channel for a while, I think I've talked about veganism before, but just to give you guys a little bit of a catch up, I used to be vegan, or at least vegetarian slash more plant-based, and technically I am still plant-based, with the exception I do eat animal products now quite regularly. Now, the reason I went vegan in the first place was because I had a very vivid nightmare of actually being an animal in a slaughterhouse. And I really thought that was my calling, to stop eating animals and to become an animal rights advocate. Well, in the future, I think I'll discuss the dream more in detail and the real reasons I had it, and what I should actually have learned from it if I had went a little deeper. However, ever since I started watching Stop the Vegan Mafia, I really had to rethink my philosophy. Even though I stopped being vegan about a year or two after I started college, maybe. I don't really remember. It wasn't like a hard decision where I just flat out stopped being vegan. It's more I transitioned my way back into eating animal products. But whatever, I'm not going to tell my whole life story. But I am going to say that it hasn't really been until recently where I've actually taken the ideology into consideration and realized it's an evil philosophy. But even when I stopped being vegan, I thought, well, vegans are still morally superior, I'm just being selfish. But that's actually very far from the truth. And what really gets me to understand this is understanding this realm is evil by design. Therefore, everything here is designed to be evil. So even if it was evil to eat animal products, well, that's something that is evil by design. I don't think it's necessarily evil on our behalf to eat animal products. I think it's an evil that the responsibility goes on whatever designed this realm. And it's also incredibly obvious too. Life eats life here every single moment of every single day. By obligation, by design. There's no true herbivores. There's just animals that eat meat more often, animals that eat meat less often. And what really makes it immoral is that even if you have a medical condition where you can't be vegan, you absolutely have to consume animal products. There's a lot of vegans out there that they don't care about that. They put animal suffering over human suffering. And as far as I'm concerned, humans are the only species on the planet that do that. And I consider our flesh bodies are animals. Now, spiritually, no, I think we're not animals. I think there's a lot that separates us from animals spiritually, but our bodies themselves are still animalistically designed. Like, we have primal instincts and everything. There's just something more advanced about our spirits and our minds that separate us from animals. And heck, I am one of those people that think animals are quite intelligent. There's cats and dogs out there. You can find videos of them learning to speak English phrases. and understanding English and learning how to communicate to some degree. So yeah, animals are very intelligent. Something there's just something mystical that makes humans a very different species, at least, even if animals did have spirits. But the solution to all suffering is antinatalism and the determination to shut this realm down. It's not going to be veganism. It's not going to be globalism. It's not going to be environmentalism. It's going to be saying, this place is too messed up to cure. We need to start over. We need to start fresh. We don't need to just delete the save file in this realm. We gotta throw the cartridge out completely. We can't be here. We're not supposed to be here. But that's getting off topic. Back to veganism. There's never been any society that has been purely plant-based. And there's reasons for that. Most food plants wilt during cold seasons. There's mold, there's diseases that can infect plants. There's the fact that food can rot, which is horrible. Like, what design is realm and design that are very sustenance to be able to rot? Not just over years, but sometimes in days. Sometimes you can pick something, it'll be rotten by the end of that day. Especially if it's not packed full of preservatives. I mean, it's horrible. I don't see what design is realm how it even expects us to survive. It's awful, it's annoying, and it makes not just trying to go vegan impossible, but it makes sometimes just survival impossible for some people throughout certain periods of time, especially before we came up with more ways to preserve food. Even then, most of our preservatives now are poison, right? I mean, yeah, it keeps our food good, but it's poisoning us, it's making us sick. And I'm not even super strict about my diet, but I do see that. And like, I want to live here forever, but if you do want to live to be very old, I don't really understand why. But if you do, you have to cut out processed food altogether, basically. And that makes it impossible to go vegan with many other things. The fact that our bodies require animal protein, or at the very least, prefer it for our protein needs. And I won't say that we don't need plant foods in general, even though there's a lot more plants out there that are a lot more poisonous than meat could ever be due to anti-nutrients. I mean, if you think about it, being poisonous is one of the only ways that plants defend themselves. Heck, I eat a lot of spicy food, and even that's technically poisonous. But yeah, I won't say that we don't need plant foods. I think there's benefits to certain ones in certain amounts. But I just don't think we should restrict either. And we need to focus on more actual solutions instead of trying to bully people into changing their diets when they may not even be able to change their diet in the first place. Yeah, veganism is not a solution. It's an evil philosophy trying to make people go against their natural diet that they were forced to have. instead of confronting whatever designed this realm that wanted to force us to do that. Because maybe if we confront whatever designed this realm, I'm going off on a tangent, but do you see? It's not morally superior. If anything, it's antithetical to ending suffering here. Because veganism, it perpetuates animal life, which is keeping everything going. So it's actually antithetical to what we should want if we want to permanently end suffering and make sure suffering in this realm can never happen again. But yeah, quick video, something that's been on my mind, and yeah, I'll probably make more videos on veganism in the future, just because I used to be vegan, I used to be pretty preachy about it, and now I want to kind of recompense that in the same way I want to sort of recompense my old preachy Christian beliefs that I had for a while by speaking out against that. But yeah, it's been Lucid Daydreamer. Keep daydreaming on. Thank you so very much.